Have you ever wondered what would happen if the unstoppable force met the immovable object? In the ancient world, that's exactly what Rome and Greece were. The Roman legions, the most disciplined and fearsome army the world had ever seen. And the Greek phalanx, a bristling wall of spears and shields that had dominated battlefields for centuries. So, what happened when these two titans clashed? You might think you know the answer, but the real story is far more complex and fascinating than a simple conquest. Let's set the stage. It's the 3rd century BCE. Rome, a young and ambitious republic, has just finished conquering the Italian peninsula. They're looking around, hungry for more. To the east lies Greece, the cradle of Western civilization. But it's not the unified Greece of the Persian Wars. It's a collection of squabbling kingdoms, the successors to Alexander the Great's massive empire. They were powerful, rich, and culturally dominant, but they were also divided. The first major showdown was the Pyrrhic War. King Pyrrhus of Epirus, a cousin of Alexander the Great and considered one of the most brilliant generals of his time, answered a call for help from a Greek city in southern Italy. He brought with him 25,000 professional soldiers, and for the first time, the Romans faced a truly terrifying weapon: war elephants. These Lucanian cows, as the shocked Romans called them, crashed through their lines. Pyrrhus won the first battle, and then he won the second, but his losses were staggering. After one victory, he famously said, "One more such victory, and we shall be utterly ruined." This gave us the term Pyrrhic victory, a win so costly, it's basically a loss. Pyrrhus eventually gave up and went home, leaving Rome in control of Italy and with a newfound confidence. They had faced one of the best Greek generals and survived. Fast forward a few decades. Rome has just finished a life-or-death struggle with Carthage in the Punic Wars. Now, they are the undisputed masters of the Western Mediterranean. And they turn their gaze east again. This time, it's not a single general, but the mighty kingdom of Macedon, the homeland of Alexander himself. The Romans, with their flexible legions, were a nightmare for the rigid Greek phalanx. The legion was made of smaller, more adaptable units called maniples. They could move around on the battlefield, exploit gaps, and attack the phalanx from the sides and rear, where it was most vulnerable. At the Battle of Cynocephalae in 197 BCE, this difference was put on full display. On the flat ground, the Macedonian phalanx was unstoppable, pushing the Romans back. But as the battle moved onto uneven, hilly terrain, gaps opened up in the long spear wall. A quick-thinking Roman commander wheeled his units around and charged into the back of the Macedonian formation. The result was a slaughter. The rigid spear wall, once so mighty, was completely helpless. The age of the phalanx was over, and the age of the legion had begun. Over the next 50 years, Rome systematically dismantled the Greek kingdoms one by one. They didn't always conquer outright. Sometimes they played the kingdoms against each other, acting as a liberator before eventually taking over. It was a master class in diplomacy and military strategy. The final act came in 146 BCE when the Romans, fed up with Greek rebellions, completely destroyed the city of Corinth as a brutal example. Greece, the land of philosophers and artists, became a Roman province, but here's the twist. While Rome conquered Greece with its swords, Greece conquered Rome with its culture. Wealthy Romans hired Greek tutors for their children. They copied Greek art and architecture, and they adopted Greek philosophy and literature. The poet Horace famously wrote, "Captive Greece took its brutish conqueror captive." The Romans may have won the war, but it was Greek culture that shaped the soul of the Roman Empire and through it the entire Western world. So, the next time you think of Rome's conquest of Greece, remember it wasn't just a military victory. It was the beginning of a powerful fusion, creating the Greco-Roman world that laid the foundation for our own civilization. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button. And subscribe for more dives into the epic history of the ancient world. See you next time.